Broadcasting live from the Tabernacle at Pendrell Vale, this is Tap Tap Concede. Welcome, everybody, to Tap Tap Concede. My name is Graham. Joining me is Cameron. And Kathleen.
Hello.
And today, we're going to be talking about the Dominaria United preview stream that, at time of recording, happened yesterday, and about all the stuff that they revealed there, and anything else we feel like talking about. Because, of course, it's casual chats, and I think last week I'm told it went very off the rails, so that's good.
Yeah, we got extremely cash.
Yeah.
Great. Awesome. A reminder, of course, before we get into it, that the show is brought to you by Card Kingdom. Please check out cardkingdom.com/LRR for all of your carded needs. Tell them we sent you by, going there, obviously, but also you can say, Loading Ready Run sent me, button, please, and they'll give you a little 1-inch button, which I believe currently still says, in response to damage I concede, or I think it's something akin to that. It's conceding in the face of damage. And of course, the show and everything we do is brought to you by you and your kind support of our Patreon at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. Real quick, before we get into the magic, if you're watching the video and you have no idea what's going on with me, and you're like, why does Graham look like that? Go to the Loading Ready Run YouTube channel and watch the most recent episode of Loading Ready Live. That explains all of that. TLDR, some medical stuff, I'm doing okay. If you are watching the video and you do know all that, and you're like, why does Graham look like that? Well, this is just what it is currently, and it'll probably change again in the future. And if you're listening to the podcast and not watching it at all, I currently look like what Kathleen describes as a 12-year-old cop. I think we're all caught up now. Basically, the head and beard was going, but the mustache stayed, so I decided I'd keep it for a week for the lulz, and now this is what I look like. So, whee!
Please don't pour out my beer.
I'm going to need you to pour out your beer, sir. Dominaria United, they had a big preview stream, which Blake hosted from his house, it seems. They had some video content that was very well produced. Because, of course, being like video people, I was like, oh, yeah, this is very nice lighting and stuff and all that. And then the actual sort of thing was like Blake at his home computer, which was kind of funny. But yeah, they unveiled a lot of stuff about Dominaria United, the set, which is the next sort of the next standard set, which is coming out in
end of August, early September.
Yeah, early September. Any sort of preview stuff, like any kind of pre-release, for example, would be at the end of August. And a bunch of other information about what we can expect, including the biggest news, and this was starting to get rumored, and I don't know why this was starting to get rumored, but a thing kind of akin to something that they did back in Zendikar. So they did, when Zendikar first came out, they did this promotion called, I can't actually remember what it was called, like Forgotten Treasures or Secret Treasures or something, some sort of treasures, where like the first print run of Zendikar had like original cards from, I don't know, like alpha, beta, like early sets that it was supposed that Wizards actually just like must have bought them from the secondary market. Maybe like people were never actually really sure where they came from, but there was a chance that you could find those in the first print run of original Zendikar. So like at the pre-release, someone opened a Black Lotus or something, right? It was like, whoa, my goodness, amazing. So they could sort of do that without actually reprinting cards that on the reserve list that they can't do. And so what's happened here, similar but different, not quite as cool, but is that they got a hold of a bunch of cases of booster packs of Legends, and they opened them up, and then they're putting those cards into collector boosters of Dominaria United. Now, there's a whole bunch of different asterisks about this. One is that because there's only so many cards, right, is that they're only going to appear in about 3%
Of a collector's
of collector boosters.
That is not very many cards.
No.
Yeah.
And it could be a Kobolds of Carekeep, right?
Yep.
Like, it could, as their article actually says, it could even be a moat.
Like, these aren't like, don't get your hopes up.
I mean, moat would be pretty cool.
Yeah, moat would be pretty cool.
They did show someone opening. Actually, Ari
Yeah.
Ari Zarulnik in the video opened a tabernacle. We worked with Ari on Infinity. Opened a tabernacle at Pendrell Vale, which is, obviously Wizards doesn't say so in their video, but is very expensive.
I mean, I'm glad one of us finally got to open a pack of an unset.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
Dominaria
United.
United.
Yeah. So there are some cards. This is another one of the asterisks. There are some cards that cannot appear in collector boosters at all. There's a small handful that Wizards just isn't putting in them for like being on the naughty list, essentially. Like there's certain cards that for various reasons of the card or the artist, like in the case of the one that is a literal Nazi, they're just not putting cards with his art back in the packs. Fair. There's another complication, which is due to like how Coalition went for Legends, which was bad because this was like one of the earliest Magic sets, and just the way that like the literal sheets of cards were cut up and collated and put in packs and then sent to the distributors, because all of these boxes of Legends came from the same original source back in 1994, that there's just like a huge swath, several dozen cards that literally cannot appear in these packs, and so they just didn't open them, so those just won't be in there. There's a big list actually on the Wizards website.
That's very fun.
It's
I like that they're being upfront about that.
yeah. So I was watching the live stream, right, and there was, I don't know if it was a meme or if people actually believed it, but there was definitely this undercurrent of people who were claiming, and again, I want to believe this was mostly a joke, but were like acting like Wizards found these cards, as in they are claiming that these are original cards, but are actually new printings to look like Legends cards to avoid printing stuff on the reserve list. And it's, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I am also a crackpot.
Okay,
like
good.
the people who suggested these, the thought did cross my mind.
Uh-huh.
And then I thought about it for a second, and it's just like, what a dumb, risky move. Like, there's no way you're going to replicate the quality of the card stock.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you can't do it. Like, people would, like, the printing techniques would be completely different. The way the ink was put on the paper. It's 2022. You couldn't fool people.
You are frankly giving Wizards way too much credit to think that would be possible.
Yeah, and it's not Wizards doing this. It's some company, like, that they have to hire that's not interested in playing, like, internet super high-stakes art heist stuff. They're just a printing company. That would be stupid.
In the video Wizards made, they were talking. They had Marshall interviewing former PPR guest Matt Danner with his new luscious flowing locks, and
he looks great.
They talked about how there was a warehouse in the middle of Washington State somewhere, and this was a big surprise, and they had no idea that they had these packs. And maybe that's an exaggeration. Right? I can see that. But the notion that these are absolutely brand new prints is that's frankly moon landing level conspiracy theory in terms of how ridiculous it is, because it's not possible or feasible. Stuff gets leaked from Wizards all the time.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Don't you think somebody would leak this information? And why would you go to that much trouble to give very few people a Kobold's Care Keep? Like, God.
Yeah, especially considering that it's not a full sampling of the set.
Yeah. Let me find the list. I
think it's important for all conspiracy-minded folks to acknowledge that the vast majority of people are lazy. And all of this sounds like far too much work. And every time you introduce another step, you're introducing another point of failure, as somebody who plans things will tell you, right? The simplest, like sometimes things have to be complicated, but the simpler you can make it, the easier it is. So that's the problem with conspiracy theories. They're just too complicated. No one would get that right in real life. People are far too stupid and disorganized and lazy.
Yes.
Oh, no land tax or mana drain or floral spasm. This is a bunch of cards they couldn't open. Oh, so unfortunately, among the cards that they literally could not have opened because of just how the collations worked out, is Ramirez de Pietro.
Yes, my investment is sound.
But they did. So there's this very cool thing that they did announce called, I think they called it Legends Reborn, where basically the problem with Legends, the set originally, if you're unfamiliar with it, this was the first set that introduced legendary creatures. This was the first set that introduced gold cards. And that was enough. At the time, it was like, look, they're gold, and we're calling them legendary, and that's enough. The cards don't need to be good or even do anything. So there's a bunch of legendary creatures in the original set that are bad. Ramirez is not one of them, but good old Stang. Well, they've reprinted Stang since, but for example, Jasmine Boreal. She's a 4/5 for 3 green-white. That's it. Right, she's a vanilla creature, and so they're like, okay,
Richard Kane Ferguson
art. You got that going for you, which is nice. So, Jasmine, among others, is getting like a refresh where they're printing a new Jasmine Boreal card that actually does something. So
it's sick. The new design is amazing.
It's called I don't remember. It's Jasmine Boreal something to something. I don't know, Paul. If you were able to find that, I should have warned you. Should be at the bottom. There we go. Jasmine Boreal of the 7.
Whoa.
So 1 green-white for a 2/4 human druid. Tap to add green-white. Spend this mana only to cast creature spells with no abilities. There's the connection to no abilities. And creatures you control with no abilities can't be blocked by creatures with abilities. I love that.
So just vanilla.
Whatever that 10-10 dinosaur is.
Oh, the Gigantosaurus.
Yeah.
Choo-choo. So Jasmine is among them, but so is Ramirez. I'm sure,
yes.
Cam, your Twitter was useless yesterday.
Actually, everyone really impressed me.
Oh.
I was sent this by one person, and exactly one person.
Maybe they did a vote.
They must have. So
Decided.
there must have been some kind of coordination.
So what's the new Ramirez do?
Ramirez de Pietro, Pillager, is a 4/3 who casts for 2, blue, black. They are a human pirate, which is interesting because it was implied that Ramirez was so old that there was no way that Ramirez was human. And that it was implied that they had been replaced at some point by a changeling.
Oh, interesting.
But now Ramirez, when he enters the battlefield, you lose 2 life and create 2 treasure tokens.
Oh, that's great.
Whenever 1 or more pirates you control deal combat damage to a player, exile the top card of that player's library. You may cast that card for as long as it remains exiled.
That's awesome.
So yeah, he just does the thing where he swings through and takes your stuff.
That's so cool. I want to. This is a commander deck waiting to happen.
Oh,
yeah.
That's great.
So an actual pirate captain.
Cool.
In addition to, I guess, Admiral Beckett Brass.
And still a 4/3.
Yes.
So that's cool.
So
right,
maintained,
full folio.
but no first strike.
No first strike
old
anymore.
Ramirez kills new Ramirez,
Wow.
which I think means he's strictly better.
Which must mean he's a changeling and killed the original to assume
Acquire
his-
first strike.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. The other one they showed off. I don't know if you can find the original, Paul. I don't even remember the name. Right, Tor Walkie. So the new one is Tor Walkie the Younger. 3 black red for a 3/3 human archer with reach and lifelink, which is you don't often see lifelink on a red card, so that's pretty cool.
Or no reaches. Yeah, right. I always forget. This is the condition of playing limited for Cameron. Red has reach.
Right, exactly.
Looking at a giant with a ball and chain.
Yeah. So the original Torwalki was also a 3/3 human archer, and you tap to deal 2 damage to target attacking or blocking creature.
Which was an ability that turned up quite frequently on white cards for a little while. Like you would see ballistas with this.
Right. So the new one, apart from reach and lifelink, has if another source you control would deal non-combat damage to a permanent or player, it deals that much damage plus 1. And whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, Torwalki deals 2 damage to any target. So much better.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I believe these are. I can't remember actually. I'm going to have to check in Wizard's article whether these are promos. There was something special about these in terms of how you actually. So that's the Lost Legends Retold box toppers. So Legends Retold box toppers contain one traditional foil from among 19 legendary creatures and one planeswalker, each a new design inspired by a legendary card found in the original Legends set. So we've had Ramirez, Tor, and Jasmine spoiled, and there's 20 total, 19 legendary creatures and one planeswalker. And
Ooh,
those
I wonder
are
who the planeswalker would be.
and those are only box toppers.
Ooh.
So that's interesting.
Who would the planeswalker be?
Umazawa?
That could be fun.
Toshiro Umazawa?
One could only hope. That sounds cool.
Or no, not Toshiro Umazawa. Who was it in Legends who cast for Grixis and had his price artificially spiked by tiny leaders? Well, not artificially spiked.
Oh,
but
tiny leaders.
Yeah.
I forgot about tiny leaders.
he was the only Grixis commander for tiny leaders.
Man, I remember I was at a GP back when they were GPs before Magic Fests, and Tiny Leaders was like at his peak, and I spent I think like $80 like building a Tiny Leaders deck at that event, and then never played it because then the format just died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Tetsuo,
Umazawa.
right? Red, black, blue for a 3/3, and for red, black, black, blue, and tap, destroy target tapped creature or target blocking creature, and it may not be the target of an enchantment or an enchanted
Protection from
spell.
hexproof from enchantments.
Yeah. Interesting.
I guess that's to show that the kami can't touch him.
Oh, I like that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
The
good-
flavor.
Good read.
Good flavor
read.
Yeah. Very nice. They also showed off the Buy a Box promo, which that's Tetsuko Umezawa, the fugitive from Dominaria.
From Dominaria.
Right.
Yes. So they showed off the Buy a Box promo, which is the Llanowar Loam Speaker. Get you a new mana elf. So it's 1 and a green for a 1/3 elf druid. Tap to add 1 mana of any color. And tap target land you control becomes a 3/3 elemental creature with haste until end of turn. That's still a land. Activate only as a sorcery. Which is interesting. So this is a rare that is actually also in the set. But there's an alternate art that is also the Buy a Box promo. Also, there's game day promos. So there's new art for Touch the Spirit Realm, which is from Kamigawa Neon Dynasty, wasn't it? Touch the Spirit Realm?
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there's new art for that featuring an angel, maybe a particular angel. I don't actually recall.
Okay.
And there's a new. These are on the Wizards article, Paul. Sorry, I know that this is the day after all this stuff has been spoiled, so it's a little scattershot to find the art for it, which is kind of funny, because a lot of this was like shown in slideshows or tweeted out, and so they're not actually card shaped, which makes it difficult to plug into the way that we do card displays on the podcast. You're welcome for this look behind the curtain. So anyway, it's Touch the Spirit Realm. There's also Workshop Warchief from Streets of New Capenna with a new art there, and a card that is a mythic that is from Dominaria United, which is Shivan Devastator.
Ooh.
Or the Dragon Fireball. So it's a 0/0 Dragon Hydra at Mythic for X and a red. It's got flying and haste, and it enters with X +1/+1 counters on it. So it's basically a creature fireball, because again, it's got flying and haste. So you just go, all right, here's a 12/12, it's attacking you. So, yeah.
Well, this is going to be fun to run into at the top table at the pre-release.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, yeah.
Also, yeah, shout out to that flavor art or flavor text.
I was going to say, yeah.
Yeah. There are many reasons why Shiv was not high on Sheldred's lists of places to conquer. Big, fiery reasons.
Yup.
I love that even Phyrexians are like, oh, God, no.
Oh, that thing looks expensive.
Oh, Christ. We'll come back to that.
There's the...
No,
there we go. There's the
oh.
Touch the Spirit Realm. Excellent. And then I really like the Workshop Warchief, too. It's
Ooh, yeah.
Real cool looking dude. Also, they showed off the store championship promos, including a new Spell Pierce. It's very cool looking. A new Gilded Goose, which has caught a fish.
Quack.
Geese not known for catching fish.
Hunk. Oh, but it's feeding fish to baby geese.
It's a huge fish for a goose, but yeah, all right, fair enough. And thick Omnath.
God, I love this so much.
This what a troll flex this is.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like, I already don't know. For one thing, I don't know which Omnath this is. I don't know what any Omnath does. Frankly, you could flop this as your commander and say, every time I landfall, modes are take an extra turn, put a +1/+1 counter on everything I own, and I'd be like, okay.
Yeah, this isn't the same.
It would need a mode for every color. So it's like take an extra turn is blue, +1/+1 counter is green, 5 damage to any target is red, and white is I don't know, put something in a bubble for a turn.
Yeah, exactly.
Old white sucks.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the one that has been like variously like banned and rebalanced and changed and tweaked or whatever. So it's the 4/4 ETB draw a card, and then it's got successive landfall triggers that like if you
God, we were pretty close.
If you get landfall for the first time in a turn, you gain 4 life. If you get landfall for the second time in a turn, you add red, green, white, blue. And if you get landfall for the third time in a turn, you deal 4 damage to each opponent and each planeswalker you don't control. That's this in the same vein as the textless cryptic command. This is what a choice to make a textless version of this Omnath specifically.
So blue is draw a card, white is gain 4 life, which sucks. Like old white. Green is add all that mana, and red is the deal the damage.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it all works.
Yeah.
But also the size of this lab.
I also think that this is honestly quite a good choice for a textless card, because what if it does get rebalanced or oracle texted, right? Yet again.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
This is the one you want.
Hey, what's this one do? I'll look it up.
Yeah. Scan the QR code.
What a brilliant way of issuing a rebalanced card.
Yeah. Right. It's one more. They've changed it a couple times on Arena, actually. So now, currently, it's 1 mana more expensive. But there was something else that it did before. Like, this is like the second iteration, I think. So, anyway. But let's talk about actual cards from the set, because they did actually show off some cards from actually the set Dominaria United, and answers some questions that people have had about the set, because it's like, United against what? For example, did that Shivan Annihilator, whatever it is, that huge dragon, did that mention Sheldred?
Yeah.
Did somebody say Sheldred?
Yeah, one of the really competent praetors.
Yeah. So they showed off the evolved sleeper. Remember Sleeper Agent? The sleeper agents, the Phyrexian sleeper agents, being like a big part of the turning point of the original Phyrexian conflict. So check this out. It's like what's
Figure of Destiny.
Figure of Destiny.
Yes, it's like a Phyrexian.
Or an Ascendant Spirit now.
Yeah, it's like a Phyrexian figure of destiny. So it's 1 black mana for a 1/1 human. At least it's a human for now. You can pay a black, and evolved sleeper becomes a human cleric with base power and toughness 2/2.
Get a job.
So it's a 1 mana 1/1 or a 2 mana 2/2, I guess. Then for 1 and a black, if the sleeper is a cleric, then you put a death touch counter on it, and it becomes a Phyrexian human cleric that's a 3/3.
Got promoted at work.
Yeah. Then it's you pay 1 black, and if evolved sleeper is a Phyrexian, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Then you draw a card and lose a life, and you can just keep doing that.
Oh yes.
Choo choo.
Oh, this is like the castle, the Black Castle from Eldraine, Throne of Eldraine.
Oh, Castle or
Lochthwain.
Lochthwain.
Yeah. 1 black, lose a life, draw a card. Only it is in meat form.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like Phyrexian Rager, right? The 2/2 for 3. It's just like you just draw a card, lose a life. Phyrexians like to do that. Is there any way? This is such a corner case that's irrelevant. Is there something that like makes things a cleric? Like, is there some way to make this a cleric without activating that first ability? This is irrelevant. That does not matter.
Probably some way.
Maybe there's some way.
Yeah.
Well, I know that there's ways that you can like make all your creatures a certain type, and that's not you just make them a Phyrexian at that point. But anyway, so this seems cool. Also, yeah, definitely the Phyrexians are back.
Yep.
Okay, can I pull up something cool?
Yeah.
Which I noticed, and I didn't. So I was kind of like rude and didn't tell Paul I'd be doing this because I only noticed it partway through. Hold on, I need to try it. So if you look at that, what does it kind of look like if you're squinting? The set symbol. Look at the set symbol. What does the set symbol look a little bit like?
Like a horseshoe crab?
No, it looks like the set symbol for Apocalypse.
Apocalypse. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the
From
mask.
the invasion block.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
I was like, that looks so familiar. The shape of it seems so familiar to me.
It does, too.
So that's definitely intentional.
Oh, yeah.
That's not a happy accident. So I guess the Phyrexians are invading, which we knew that because they've been doing it for the past several blocks. Mm-hmm. But now they've so just to refresh everyone's memory, we had Vorinclex who showed up on Kaldheim.
That was a big surprise.
Or the Phyrexians got away with something. They had
Yeah.
something to do with the planar bridge. They needed to get some special goo from the god tree or something like that. And then in the next set, we had Jin-Gitaxias.
That was a year later.
That was a year later.
In Kamigawa.
Yeah, but then he showed up and he did a bad thing to Tamio that everybody got quite upset about. So I would say the Phyrexians won those two sets.
Secretly in the background.
And then we had New Capenna. Now, but that was not Perforos, the red guy.
Urabrask.
Erebrask, thank you.
I couldn't remember either.
My brain had a short
He's
circuit.
so hidden that we forgot his name.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't show up a lot, and he's doing Urbrask things. So like,
Yeah.
we'll call that one at best neutral for the Phyrexians.
Yeah.
And so now Sheldred's there.
We have to assume that Sheldred and Elish Norn are going to be in this set.
Elish Norn.
No, Elish Norn will be in the next set for sure, I bet.
Elish Norn crushed the other Praetors.
Yeah, they're all her
Right.
lackeys now.
Oh.
Yeah, in New Phyrexia. Well, I think after New Phyrexia or during it, that was Elish Norn consolidating her power over the other Phyrexian factions.
Yeah. And we've already seen some like magic story where Ashiok comes to talk to Elish Norn, or just to,
That was a cool story.
that was just to see what she's about. And she is clearly like the one leader in charge on the plane at that point. So she's so. Yeah. So I don't know. Do we think Sheldred's gonna like win or lose here? I feel like she's got to lose a bit.
Well, I mean, I think the heroes, in order for the stakes to be high, need to be facing a credible threat.
Right.
And Sheldred attacking Dominaria, I think, needs to present that threat under guidance of under the command of Elish Norn. We need we've been getting these hints of things of Praetors active on other planes doing something. Mm-hmm. I think this is where we will see what that thing is.
Yeah.
And so I think that Sheldred will probably emerge victorious here before the good guys get to win in 2 more sets.
Yeah.
Right, of course.
Because
This is our.
I assume Brothers War will be going back in time.
it must.
Yeah, and then doing some big kind of flashback reveal to something that the heroes will interact in present day.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, I think maybe also it's important to just maybe Brothers War is a bit of a feint. Mm-hmm. Maybe there's some, I don't know. But there's no, I don't know. But I just wonder if this is our Empire Strikes Back kind of set.
Yes.
Things are going to look real bad. Mm-hmm. Then we've got our Brothers War Endor moon scene.
Yes.
And then, then we have a big, presumably whole set of having a big showdown with our bad guy.
Yeah.
Who's Elish Norn.
Right. Because
donuts.
I think it's August 18th is Wizards preview day. Mm-hmm. The Magic and D&D, the anything Wizards makes, what's coming next year thing. So in August, we'll know about whatever set is going to be in the beginning of 2023. Mm-hmm. So that'll potentially give us an idea there as well. Mm-hmm. So,
I do like Dominaria United as the Empire Strikes Back.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Or the what was it, Infinity War?
Right. Yeah. Where it ends up looking pretty bleak, and then
Ooh,
Yeah.
ooh. So who do we think? I think they might kill off some planeswalkers. Not kill off, but I think we're going to see another Phyrexianized planeswalker because they already
Yeah.
took Tameo, and so surely someone else is going to go.
There have
Yes.
been leaks which we shall not discuss here, but those
No,
leaks did
I haven't
discuss
seen
something
those.
similar to that.
Oh,
I haven't seen
I
the
actually
leaks.
haven't seen them either.
Yeah.
I barely have time to keep up on the news that Wizards is releasing.
I mean, I will say that I haven't seen the leaks, but I am a professional writer. So I'm sort of familiar with how stories have to work. Because bad guys have to do bad things.
Yeah, there are beats, and frankly, I feel that WotC's their overarching storytelling is relatively conservative in that it follows well understood story beats.
Yeah. Well, it's
Yeah.
sort of different. Like, you got to tell the story across. You got to have a big story, but you have to assume that a lot of people are going to somehow miss part of it.
Yeah,
So it can't
right,
be like
yes.
too
Too
obscure.
sophisticated, right? Because not everyone is going to go to the website to read
The fiction.
the magic story, and people might completely blitz over flavor text. I know that I have been guilty of that frequently in the past, of just being like, hey, I wonder what's going on in this story. That would be an interesting story beat. And people are like, it's literally on the card, Cameron. I'm like, it is.
They started putting like the story showcase marker on cards. So like, this one's important. Just read this one.
Yeah, just
Story
look at this
spotlight.
one. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So that's probably a fairly well reasoned argument for why WotC tells stories the way they do. But I feel that we could probably expect the refusal, the the heroic arc kind of thing. We can probably expect the mentor figure to be killed. I don't know who that would be, but it wouldn't surprise me to see one of the more established planeswalkers die.
Oh,
Can I actually?
my heart just seized up for Jaya Ballard.
So relating to Jaya, my girl Jaya, and story spotlights, they did unveil a story spotlight card. I'm going to come back to Jaya, but there's a story spotlight card, Temporal Firestorm. That's 3 red for a sorcery with kicker, and it's got multiple options. So you can kick it for 1 and a white, and or 1 and a blue. So you can cast this spell for 3 red, or for 4 red white, 4 red blue, or 5 red blue white. Choose up to X creatures and or planeswalkers you control, where X is the number of times this spell was kicked. Those permanents phase out, and then it deals 5 damage to each creature and each planeswalker.
Oh.
So at its base level, it's a board wipe. You deal 5 to everything. But if you kick it, you can bubble something.
Yeah, bubble things.
Yeah, and it looks like
It's
what's
like-
happening here is that Jaya is protecting herself and Teferi.
Or
Teferi's bubbling. She's
or,
firing.
Yeah.
Or Jaya's like, fireball, and Teferi's like, no.
Yeah.
Jaya's like, I'll take you all with me. And Teferi's like, no.
No, you won't.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, maybe Teferi's at hazard here, too.
so that's
no.
interesting.
Who are the other mentor characters? Liliana's recently taken on a teaching role.
That's true. That's
Literally?
Yeah.
She's a
She's
literal
got tenure.
mentor.
Yeah. Somehow.
Yeah. Now this,
Can you imagine how much dirt she probably has on Belladraus Witherbloom?
you were saying before we started recording that, of course, this particular color combo is a throwback to the old.
Invasion block.
Were they shards? No, wedges. The old wedges.
I
wedge
got
names.
that from reading Jay and Ellie's Twitter. I'm going to give credit where credit's due for that.
Oh, okay.
But I remember this from the second time I came back to play Magic, which was during Invasion block.
Right.
Yeah, all of the wedges had their own names, which were briefly around and then abandoned.
Yeah.
Because this is Raka?
Yes.
Yes, Raka was
Jeskai.
Jeskai.
Right. Okay. Cool.
The problem was they weren't actually that easy to remember.
No, because they all sounded kind of similar. It was
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Raka, Dega, Neka.
Yeah. So, like, I remember when cons came out, right? And people were like, oh, they kind of had names for this before. But when cons came out, that was the first time those wedges had gotten, like, a proper name, right?
Yeah, and kind of like a strong identity.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you can see Rocka Volver on screen right now. Creature type Volver, really? That's
Return of creature type Volver.
no, please. That has the same sort of kicker for white and or blue, and then it does stuff depending on if you do the whole
Clearly,
thing.
he's a minotaur, anyhow.
But I want to take a quick look at
Wings.
at actual Jaya now, because I'm always been a big fan of Jaya, and now we have Jaya Fiery Negotiator. With looks like some Keldons in the background.
yeah.
Yeah. So 2 red for a 4/4. So 4 mana. Sorry, not 4/4. 4 loyalty. 4 mana for a 4 loyalty walker. Already solid on the vanilla test as far as planeswalkers are concerned. +1. Make a 1/1 red monk with prowess.
Oh, just +1, make a dude.
Oh yeah, with prowess no less.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I thought prowess was too powerful and had to be scaled back.
-1. Exile the top 2 cards of your library. Choose one of them. You may play that card this turn. Not bad. You still got a pay cost, but it is play, so if you hit lands, you're fine. -2. Choose target creature and opponent controls. Whenever you attack this turn, Jaya Fiery Negotiator deals damage equal to the number of attacking creatures to that creature. So that's super interesting. So it's like -2, you put a target on something, and then you attack with like 3 creatures, and then the source is Jaya. Jaya deals 3 damage to that creature that the opponent controls. That's a curious ability that I have not seen before.
I like that. That's a new design space.
Yeah. And then finally, -8, you get an emblem with whenever you cast a red instant or sorcery spell, copy it twice. You may choose new targets for the copy.
Well,
That's when negotiations break down.
Yeah.
I feel like that's your magical Christmas land ability.
Yeah.
But I feel like -2 is going to be very useful. Make a couple monks, attack with your monks, blast their 2/2 with lifelink or something like that, right? Like that's
Yeah, this is a great space for Jaya. This feels really interesting. I'm so glad they've decided to move beyond. Like a few years ago, Planeswalkers got into this thing where it was +1, protect yourself, or generate card advantage, and then minus either protect yourself or generate card advantage, whatever the inverse was. And then their ultimate was, win the game.
Yeah.
And that was around second Innistrad block where we saw a lot of walkers like that. And I just was like, nah. No.
Yeah,
But this is cool.
Yeah, Jaya seems super interesting.
I
I like the red prowess monk.
Yeah, I also like that. I like that the name Negotiator's good. Like her negotiation style is to shoot something from across the battlefield.
Yep.
Negotiate with extreme prejudice.
You're negotiating from a position of strength.
Yeah.
Yeah. They also unveiled on this stream. Well, I mean, I say unveiled. They talked about there's 2 commander decks associated with Dominaria United. We know very little about it except for the names, the colors, and the commanders, though we don't actually know what the commanders do. We just know who they are. So there's a deck called Legends Legacy, which is red, white, black, and commanded by Dihada. If you recall, Dihada, was it Dihada Gaedron?
Yeah, she was
that her
like
name?
she showed up before.
Yeah,
And
she was mentioned before, and there was a planeswalker once in like Modern Horizons.
Yeah, she was the person. She's the person who made what's his face make the Black Blade, I believe.
Oh,
I think she was like a really evil person, and like she's extreme. Like as far as like planeswalkers go, and like lore, like she is like extra bad, like probably worse than Nicol Bolas kind of like evilness.
Does she hang out with Obnixilis and just in just the miserable people club?
I feel like Obnixilis, she would not let him sit at the table with her, is my read on her. But it's been a while since I looked her up.
she looks a lot older and more crone-like in the art that they've shown off for this commander deck than she does
really?
on the because the Gaedron Dihada card from Modern Horizons
Is like her way in the past.
is sort of looking back in time, and so now she's a little more crony, but still no less tentacly. And then the other commander deck is called Painbow. Painbow. It's a 5-color deck commanded by our old friend Jared Carthalion.
No kidding.
Yeah. So that's all we know about those decks, and that they come out on. They will be previews at Wizards Presents on August 18th, so those will be out eventually. And I'm sure at some point you will see them on an episode of Elder Dragon Social Club.
Ooh.
Can I read you?
Please.
So, Gaedron Dihada is an incredibly ancient demonic. Thank you, Kathleen. Planeswalker. Her schemes span millennia, and her lust for power and dominance know no limits.
Oh, fun.
She's compelled to bring the most powerful beings under her control, sometimes as with the Elder Dragons Chromium and Piru, and then the Maro sorcerer Sol Kanar, and the Planeswalker Dakon, who she corrupted into monsters so they might better serve her.
That's who we're getting as a Planeswalker.
Oh, Dakon!
Yeah, Dakon Blackblade.
Oh, that could be fun.
Yeah.
Neat. All right.
All right. Well, we've solved that. I mean, that fits perfectly.
The last piece of...
Oh, well, I mean, sure, Paul, if you've got to, like...
Oh, we've already had that Planeswalker.
So, yes, we've just shown, of course, Dakon Shadow Slayer from Modern Horizons 2.
Right.
Already a Planeswalker.
Right.
Right. Yes. And
We
as
all knew that.
And I
Right.
wasn't wrong about the Blackblade, because Dakon, as a mortal, was a master blacksmith, but he was corrupted by Dihada, who offered to turn him into a planeswalker if he made the most powerful weapon in existence, and then she completely corrupted him, so he killed his own son to imbue the blade with ultimate evil, essentially. And then I think she put him in the blade, eventually.
Yeah, because the Blackblade's still around.
Yeah.
And is... like inherently evil, I think?
Super inherently evil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It spilled the blood of one elder dragon. In Gideon's hands, it may yet taste another. Right.
Yeah, Gideon. Yeah, Gideon tried to use it to kill up Nixilis. Or not up Nixilis.
Nicol
Bolas.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
I wonder where the Blackblade's kicking around now.
Oh, it's probably in a vault in Strixhaven.
Hope so. Oh, yeah. We don't talk about Corlash a lot. Ignore him. The last piece of art that we got to see from the preview stream was an absolute banger of a cycle of basic lands from Magali Villeneuve of stained glass basics. They're just basic lands. There's nothing particularly to say about them except that the art is stunning.
Yeah, so the Plains is Sarah's Realm, I believe, with the floating cathedrals.
Yep.
And then we've got, the island, this island that turns up again and again on art in Dominaria.
The classic.
It's kind of like Isle of the Dead, but not. I'm assuming the swamp on Dominaria. It's a legendary land. It makes everything else Urborg. Ermergerd. It's Urborg. Shiv?
Yeah.
Mayhaps?
Probably seems like Shiv, the mountain, and Lanor, perhaps?
Yeah, or
Yavimaya?
Yavimaya.
Yeah.
Look at those little mushrooms at the bottom.
I love that it's like the art is like very symmetrical, but not, right? Like it very much looks like it, like, I mean, obviously it's supposed to look like, I feel like this is impossibly ornate for stained glass, honestly, but it looks so good.
But I love this conceit in Magic Art, that Magic Art depicts a piece of artwork from the world. And here that piece of artwork is depicting a famous place in the world. I like that a lot. I think I might get these, even though I talk about how every new full art land is my new favorite, and I never get any of them. But these ones, I feel that are my new favorite art, and I will get these.
Yeah.
What I like about them is, one, they're super colorful. Can we go back to the swamp for a second? I love a good colorful swamp. There's purple, there's blue, there's green, there's red in that.
I love those contrasting colors.
Yeah.
And the raven in the top corner
and
as
the
well.
moon, and like this is like that. I love a good because sometimes swamps are a little low contrast for me. What I like about this is, one, they're colorful and beautiful, but two, they're extremely clear, easy to read, big strong set symbol in the middle. So, like, just like as far as like magic identity, this is like very, I love everything about the design.
Yeah. These are a slam dunk home run for me. I love them. I love them a lot.
A couple more things to round out what they brought up on the stream. So I did mention that the preview, the Wizards Presents showcase, is on August 18th. We do know a rough timeline for releases in 2023. We just don't know the names of them. We know the code names, which, of course, because Wizards does sort of code names and themes, that these are all sort of sporting activities, kind of. So quarter one is lacrosse. And so we don't know what that'll be yet. But then there was this interesting thing where in quarter two, they're releasing a set, the code name is Marathon. And then just after that is something that they're calling Marathon Epilogue.
Ooh.
Oh.
So
maybe maybe we should be revising our plans for when we beat the Phyrexians way back.
Yeah, so maybe lacrosse is continuing this story, or is I don't know, a guide end. Like maybe it's a side story, maybe it's unrelated, and then Marathon is the conclusion. There's an epilogue, and then later in the year, sets labeled netball and off-roading.
Yeah,
which I'm just mentioning because it's funny.
Maybe we are going. Maybe Sheldred. Maybe we're completely off. Maybe Sheldred is like beating up Dominaria. And then they were like, wait, how did Dominaria deal with Phyrexians before?
Urza did a bad.
Right.
For as long as it took.
Yeah.
Urza was willing to do whatever it took as long as it was being a jerk.
Right, yes. Yeah. Maybe they look to the lessons of the past and go, oh, okay, well, let's not do any of that then.
I'm willing to be a total a-hole. We don't have to do that. No. Mm-hmm. I'm okay with it.
It's like when you get a cold and your sinuses are like, I'm going to generate as much mucus as it takes to get us through this. And the rest of your body is like, that isn't helpful.
And
no,
like,
I'm
already on it.
Yeah, no, sorry, I didn't hear you over the taps. Hold on, I'm just turning them on. What? More mucus? I'll see what I can do.
And then the final thing that they mentioned is, of course, it's Wizards 30. It's the 30th anniversary of Magic the Gathering in 2023, and so as part of that, they're doing over the course of the year 30 pre-release promos that are promo cards available at pre-release events. Not sure exactly how. I assume this is like LGS stuff. One reprint from each of Magic's 30 years, and they've shown off the first three. So there's a Sarah Angel. This is at the bottom of the article about Dominaria United, Paul. It's at the very bottom. It's the last thing in the article. Sarah Angel with art from Kev Walker. I've seen this art before. I don't know when it was originally printed. I don't think this was the original. Like this was not the original Sarah Angel art, but anyway.
Yeah, the original Sarah Angel art was formative.
Yeah. So there's this one, and you see there's a 1993 stamp in the bottom
this
corner
is when
of the
it
art.
came out?
Yeah. So there's Sarah Angel. The 1994 card is Ball Lightning.
Oh,
which is an interesting choice.
That's a fun card that I think still sees play in oddball commander decks, right?
Yeah.
Good old Ball Lightning. And then the 1995 card is, it's Findhorn Elves, but the one on the website is Findhorn Elfen. Because for some reason, the one that they're showing off on the Wizards website is the German printing. But
I think,
anyway,
aren't they all German or something?
No, they're not. Just that one.
Just that one, okay.
I mean,
some promos will be rarer than others, and while many of these promo cards will be available in English only, 7 will only be available in another language where Magic is available, the first being Findhorn Elves, available only in German. There you go. Okay. There you go.
I mean, if you were worried about my Twitter blowing up about Ramirez DiPietro, Ben Wheeler.
Yeah, getting told that there's new Findhorn Elves available only in German. Yeah.
Rip to his timeline.
Yeah. There was a small... I don't think it's not particularly big news, honestly, but there was a small news story from last week, Wizards, in that they are They've said that they're refocusing the languages that they print paper magic in, to the point that there's 3 that they're sunsetting, essentially. So they will no longer be printing paper magic in Russian, Korean, and traditional Chinese. They will continue to print in simplified Chinese, but not traditional Chinese, Russian or Korean, which I assume is just based purely on just interest in those.
Yeah,
in those
sales
areas.
in Russia might have dropped somewhat.
Yep.
Yep.
That's not a surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I always liked getting certain cards in Cyrillic just because Cyrillic looks cool, but this is not. It's not a huge deal, I think.
Yeah, I mean, this is not really affecting me terribly much.
Yeah. So,
but yeah,
sucks obviously if you prefer those languages and will no longer be able to get paper cards. in them, but-
Korean is kind of a surprise.
Yeah, I think it's just not as popular in Korea as it is in Japan, I guess.
Yeah,
So I mean, they're still printing it in, again, any language that currently prints that they currently print in that I didn't mention, they're still doing it. So French, German, Portuguese, I believe, many languages, but not those 3. So that was a small bit of news from the previous week. And I think that was it. I don't think there was much else, unless I'm not remembering something massive. I don't think so. I think most of it was this big Dominaria United preview stream.
Dominaria United.
Unknighted, sorry, yes. Yes,
United.
the new unset. We'll get an unset eventually.
Yep.
In October.
Yes.
Very excited for this unset.
So
Why
yeah.
do these look black bordered though? So weird.
Yeah, strange how that is. So yeah, I don't know. What do you make of all this? It's nice that there's a break. It's nice that this isn't happening. We're in like late July now, and
We're not going to find out more about this for like a couple of weeks.
yeah, so that's nice. And then the set doesn't even come out until
End of August.
end of August. So
Early
a
September.
little bit of a break.
It'll be,
I've been playing more. I've been playing more of the Baldur's Gate Alchemy Limited. It's a very silly format that's fun. It's a fun format. I like it way better than New Capenna. I don't know what to tell you. I don't really like Alchemy very much. I mean, I don't play it. But this limited environment is I don't know what to tell you. It's actually just
if
fun.
it's good, it's good.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
There's big bombs, undeniably. There's some stupid stuff, like this was 2 weeks ago. I think I was on the show talking about the. I was here with Nelson and
Yes.
you were here, yeah, and we were talking about we were complaining about the art on Specialized and right.
Yes.
I at that point didn't know about I think it's called the Hagwitch Coven. Is that the name of the card? Anyway, first of all, this card is beyond ridiculous in terms of a limited bomb. It's a 6-mana 3/3 warlock, and when it enters the battlefield, you draft 2 cards from its spellbook.
Okay.
And its spellbook is 9 other warlocks that have effects. And it also gives other warlocks +1/+1. All the other ones are 2/2, so you get 3 3/3s. At worst, you get 3 3/3s for 6 mana. And they do like game-ending abilities. Like it's absolutely baffling on the scale of how big of a bomb this is. If you have it, take it, run it, play it, win games. Every piece of art is the same. All 9 other cards, the Hourglass Coven, thank you. This card and all 9 cards in the spellbook use exactly the same art.
What?
And I hate that. I hate it. I think the idea is it's these 3 witches, so it's the same art. That's bad. I do not like that at all. There's no even like color shifting or anything like the Specialized cards. It's just the identical art. From a gameplay perspective and just in terms of like laziness, that's bad. Very bad.
Yeah.
But if you see this card in draft, you should take it and run it and play it because it's absolutely broken.
I mean, this kind of expanse of this little lull in product releases has just, oh, it's this endless field in which I've been able to do other things.
Yeah.
Try to like dog paddle to keep up with magic releases.
Yeah.
So I've been painting minifigs.
Nice.
And it has been very nice.
Cool.
Well, Beethoven's, is it the Fifth Symphony or Fourth? The Pastoral.
Right.
You know.
Just painting, and I'm imagining you standing in a field with like a Studio Ghibli kind of thing with petals and leaves swirling around you while you paint.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very serene.
Yeah. I love, like that Paul's cycling through all the hags as it's going on. That one's at the beginning of your upkeep. Each opponent mills 5 cards, then exile each opponent's graveyard.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
So it's like that's a clock.
Like, oh, I'm
5.
5. Yeah. They're ridiculous. It's one of the most powerful bombs in the format, I would say. And there's like giant dragons, and it's like no. The 3 sneaky hags. Anyway, from these 3 sneaky hags to you, thanks for listening to Tap Tap Concede. If you want to get yourself some cardboard cards instead of these digital silliness, at some point you'll be able to pre-order Dominaria United. Obviously not yet, though. I saw Card Kingdom was very, very good about. They're like, look, you know where else you can get these cards from Legends boosters.
like, if you're feeling spicy.
If you want to get it. So head on over to cardkingdom.com/LRR. Maybe a Legends booster is not your speed, but you can get all kinds of other cards there.
They've got to be a couple $100 now.
Probably. Yeah.
More than that, actually.
You could get a tabernacle. Anyway, tell them we sent you. They'll give you a little button. It says something funny. It helps support the show. Do check that out. And speaking of Card Kingdom and supporting the show, also make sure to check out Elder Dragon Social Club. New episode went up at the beginning of this week. It's the first episode of the Wheel of Precons. Kathleen, Cameron, Ben, and Nelson got to spin it for the first time, and it's great. It's everything that we wanted. It's so much fun.
Yeah, I think we had a fun game.
Yeah, it's a fun game. The wheel makes a satisfying click. The precons were surprisingly well matched. We had one from 2021. We had 2 from 2013. We were really covering the spread of sort of time of precons there. It was really good. So please do check that out because everything depends on numbers.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
thank you. And of course, this show and everything we do, speaking of numbers, is brought to you by you and your kind support of our Patreon at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. Thank you very much for doing so. We really appreciate it.
You did this.
Until next time, I have been Graham, joined by Cameron and Kathleen.
Hi.
Paul's on tech, and Heather gets these online. And thank you all for watching. Bye.